Hey guys, Tennessee Yankee. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a video I've been meaning to make for a long time about my modular workbench that I have in my shop. I have one off to the side that's a fixed one, but I wanted another space in my garage and something that I could get out of the way when I needed to. So instead of just talking about it, let's get right into it and I'll show you. All right, so here's my setup. I needed something that I could get out of the way when I wanted to, put it up against the wall when I don't want it. And I was searching around on YouTube, I don't know, a year and a half ago. I was watching that April Wilkerson channel all the time. She's got a lot of great builds on there. And she had a little Murphy bench like this, but it was just a really short one in a small space. And I wanted something that could utilize my full ceiling height. I got 10-foot ceilings in my garage, and I really wanted something that I could use as an outfeed table for my table saw, as well as just an extra workspace, and then get it up and out of the way. So today I'll give you all the details on the materials that you're going to need to build this. Obviously you'd have to adjust it for your height, but if you have a 10-foot ceiling and a 36-inch wide space, you can use these exact plans to build the same thing. And I'll show you how it looks up, how it looks down, and pretty much with my table saw set up. So here's my setup with the DeWalt saw right in front of it, and you can see how it's set up. I got a 1-inch pine board sitting there, so it's a little bit lower than the saw height by about a 1/2 inch. That way you're not going to hook on anything, but still gives you a nice surface to outfeed on when you get a larger workpiece. Before I built this workbench, I was using these Lifetime foldable tables. I got that from Costco, and that was the perfect, wasn't the perfect height. I actually had to use that table, and then I had some other boxes that I built underneath it to get me just to the right height. But those outfeed, that works pretty good as an outfeed table as a temporary solution. Now I use it for like a staining and painting table, so that works pretty good. So if you've never seen these, they're pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a folding Lifetime plastic table. They're lightweight and they stow away. So let me show you how I put this up. So I just push it here on the tabletop. I grab it by the legs, and then I have it. So you just kind of walk it up, stow the leg away, and then I put in a latch system right here. Before I bought that, I had a latch over here that I just made out of some pine boards. That works just as well too, but I just put one more safety latch in on the left side over there. So, and then to take it back down, you just grab the leg and just kind of walk it down. And set her in place. I'll put it back up and show you how close this is to the ceiling. I don't know if you saw that on the last video. So up top there, I got about 3 inches to spare between the end of the workbench. And the bottom of my 2x4 support right to here is at 32 inches. And you can see here I have a piano hinge cut to 22 inches. And that's what's supporting it. So taking you through this, one of the first steps obviously is to figure out your size. Now if you could match this one perfectly, this frame is 25 inches wide and then it's 82 inches long for the frame. And then those center support pieces you see are 22 inches as well as the support. As far as the tabletop size, I bought a 4x8 sheet of maple plywood, 3/4 inch. And then I rip that to 36 inches wide. And this particular table is exactly 7 feet long. And then I just trimmed it out with some 1x4 by 8 pine board that I just ripped down to 3/4 of an inch. As far as the top, it could have got more fancy, but I just did some countersinking, and I just screwed in to the frame all the way around the top. And I could have filled those in, but I just decided to leave them open in case I ever wanted to replace this top at some point. And then what I did, when I was all done with this top, I must have went over it about 15 times with a 3-2-1 wipe-on poly mixture. And if you've never heard of that, there's a lot of videos about that. But what it is it's 1 part linseed oil, 2 parts oil poly, and 3 parts paint thinner. So a lot of times you have those things around anyway, and it's a lot cheaper to just mix your own, and then you'll make what you need and have it around for a long time. So I would put a coat on. I would sand it in with like 200, 300, 400 grit. I don't remember what I used. And then I'd let it sit a bit, and then I'd wipe it off, and then I just repeat it over and over, and it just gives you this really smooth glass-like finish. So that's pretty nice. When you spill stuff on there, it just wipes up easy. All right, let's talk about the legs. I made my legs 35¼ inch long, and again, those cross members are 22 inches. Use those for supports. Another one on the bottom just keeps the legs together nice when you're moving it up and down. And then I just put some lag bolts through the side to pivot the legs on. And I put some thumb screws on the inside. You want to make sure that you round off your legs too, so they actually move inside there. I'll show you that. So yeah, like I said, you just kind of round off your 2x4 up there so you can easily pivot. And then you can see my leg screw running through there, and I just put some washers on the side of it there and just lightly run in a thumb screw so this pivot's nice. And then just make sure when you're doing your extra support that you space it so your legs fit in there. So let me share the material list with you guys. I'll also put it in the description, but sometimes you guys just like to pause the video or write things down as you go. So overall, I had about 367 inches worth of 2x4s in this. So I bought 4 8-foot 2x4s. I had a sheet of 3/4 inch maple plywood. I had 1 piano hinge. I got that latch, but like you said, you don't have to use that. You can just make something out of some scrap wood. And then I had a 1x4x8. It's nominal 3/4 inches, so I just ripped it into 3/4 inch strips and nail gunned that in around the edges. And then sand it. I 3-2-1 polyed it. It's got a lot of screws in there, and it never hurts. I think I glued down my tabletop to the 2x4 frame, so that's always a good idea to have some glue. And then just 2 of the leg bolts and thumb screws. So not a huge material list, but makes an awesome bench. And I appreciate you tuning in. If you got any ideas or any feedback on the bench, post them in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.